What's happening, beautiful people, and welcome back here. Week 2, day 1. We got an awesome session planned out for you guys here today. But before we get moving, let's touch on 2 quick things here. Now, as we continue to progress throughout this program, I want to remind you to always move with your breath. If you need to refer back to last week's videos in order to refine the breath, please do so. In addition, we're moving only within pain-free ranges of motion only. If anything hurts, we need to stop, regress, and go get that thing checked out. Now, all we're gonna need for today is a mini band. We got a small kettlebell or dumbbell or something similar, a bench. You can use the edge of a countertop. You can use something similar. You could even use the edge of your couch if it's in the same shape, and your trusty broomstick. So let's go ahead and get right into it. We're gonna put the stick and the mini bands off to the side for now. And we're gonna get started here with some body weight windmills. So neutral stance here, toes are forward, feet are hip width, but my right toes are staggered. They're in line with my left heel. Right hand is gonna go up. I'm gonna take a breath, hold as I work into this hinge here, reaching down my left leg with the left fingertips, eyes up to my right hand, and then force the air out as I stand tall, returning into that neutral position. Working a nice rotation as I bend at the hips, and standing tall. Let's get 6 on each side. We got 2 in the bag. 1, 2, moving under control. 1 more on this side. Pause here for a beat, and then stand tall. Beautiful. And then we'll go ahead and switch sides here. So just stagger the feet to the other direction. Left toes are in line with the heel, left hand is up. We're gonna work into that hinge, rotating here, reaching almost behind us with this arm, and then stand tall and work back to neutral. 5 more. Good pause. Reaching as low as you can with those fingertips. 2 more here. If this is the maximum range just by the shin, then that's where it is. If we can't quite get all the way down, that's no problem. That space will come with time. Hold it here, and then force that air out. Nice, nice, nice. We can roll the shoulders a little bit. And then let's go ahead and work from a quadruped position, so hands and knees here. And we're gonna stabilize with opposite arm, opposite leg. So I'm gonna stabilize first with my right hand and my left knee, and I'm just gonna grab my right foot with my left hand here, pull on the quad and rotate toward that left side a little bit, opening up the quad and my left chest, left shoulder. And then return to that starting position. 6 on each side here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Really opening up and pausing here at the end of this pattern, keeping nice alignment in your stance, in your position. 5. And 6. Pushing into the ground strong with your hand through that palm. Beautiful, good, good, good. You can take a second to flip the wrists here and stretch out the forearms if that feels good. Nice. And then we will go ahead, in fact, and bring in our bench, depending on what you're working with here. We're gonna use the broomstick in conjunction with the bench here. So we're going to align the shoulders, or excuse me, the elbows shoulder width apart on the edge of the bench. Hands are gonna be shoulder width apart with the stick. Wide knees and feet are together here. And from there, all we're gonna do is send the hips back and drop the head below the bench. We can move and bend and flex the elbows here if that feels good. And then we'll go ahead and shift up out of that. And we'll get 5 more like that. Nice and smooth, bringing the chin to the chest, trying to drop the head below the biceps, and then shift back. 3 more here. letting the hips be heavy toward the heels, decompressing that spine, and really creating a lot of space here overhead. Most of the time, our overhead mobility is actually limited by our lats, having tight lats. Good, one more, nice and smooth. Smooth, excellent, excellent. So from there, we'll go ahead and put the stick back on the bench and get this thing out of the way. Nice, and then we'll go ahead and grab onto our kettlebell or light dumbbell. And we're gonna work a stability drill. So we're gonna root ourselves through the bottom of the left foot, right knee and toe are gonna come up, and we're gonna assume really tidy posture here. So picking this knee up as high as we can, and all we're gonna do is hand the kettlebell off underneath that leg. Mindful to create the space by lifting the knee, not dropping the torso. So lift this knee as high as you can, and let's get 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, mindful of that posture, 5, driving that left foot into the center of the earth, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful. Awesome, awesome drill there, very underrated for building stability. Nice and smooth. We're gonna drive that right foot to the center of the earth, knee up, toe up here. We're gonna flex the toes up, and off we go. 1, really nice posture. 2, shoulders over the hips. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Smooth. Excellent work there. We can roll the shoulders a little bit, kind of kick the legs loose. And then we'll go ahead and grab onto our mini band here. And today we're gonna wrap him around the wrists. So you wanna put him around the wrists and engage the fingertips, and we're gonna bring the hands to just outside of shoulder width. From there, we're gonna work from a nice rooted stance, neutral feet here, toes forward. We're gonna pack the shoulders and bring the hands to where we have good tension here in the band, right outside the thighs. Forced exhale is going to raise the hands overhead as high as we can go here. Again, within that pain-free range of motion, you want to think about bringing the biceps to the side of the ears. So framing your ears with your biceps and then coming right back down with control. Sip of air in here. We're going to force the air out on the way up. Pause here, another sip of air. And again, force the air out on the way back down, allowing us to work with really nice controlled tempo. Pelvis is tucked, core is engaged, and let's get 6 more here. And then coming down with control, pulling that band apart, squeezing the floor with the feet. 4 more. Firing it all up here. 4. Keeping those shoulders packed. 3. 'Where's that alignment of the pelvis? Where's that stance? 2 more. 2. And 1. Nice pause. And come on down with control. Smooth. Good, good, good. We can release the bands here, roll the shoulders a little bit if that feels good. And we can put them off to the side. And then from there, let's go ahead and grab our broomstick. And we're going to touch on today another one of those fundamental patterns. It's a contralateral hip hinge, single leg hinge. Contralateral in the sense that the right side of my body, my right lat here, is connected to my left hamstring and glute. So from here, Right hand has the stick, right knee and toe are gonna come up. I'm going to hinge into the hip, consciously push down on the stick into the ground here, connecting the right side lat here to my left side hamstring, and then sweeping that right knee all the way through. So hinging into my hip, connecting the right and left opposite side here, and then staying nice and tall. Inhale, hold it, and then force the breath out. Let's get 5 more like this. Hold. You want to think about kicking the ceiling with the bottom of this right foot. Nice and flat back here. Smooth. 4 more. 4. 3. 2. And 1. Beautiful. Good, good, good. We can roll the shoulders, kick the legs loose a little bit. This contralateral aspect of our bodies is related to how we walk and how we move with the opposite arm, opposite leg. So the more that we're able to train in this fashion in settings like this, the more efficient those patterns will be in the real world. Walking, running, going up and down stairs, all that good stuff. So now we're going to work sticks in the left side, left knee and toe are all the way up. We're going to hinge into the hip here, and we're thinking about connecting the engagement of the left side lat here with this right side hip, or right side hammy and glute, and sweep it tall. 7 more. 2. 3. Mindful of your stance, rooting that right foot into the ground. 4. Getting as long as we can here in this fully hinged position. 5. 3 more. Squeezing the floor through the toes. 3. 2. And 1. Solid. Woo, much tougher than it looks, but again, an excellent pattern that has a lot of carryover into daily life outside. So from there, let's simplify it a little bit. We're just gonna go into a high plank. So we got 2 options here. We can either work from the balls of the feet. If this is tough, we'll drop to the knees and curl the feet behind you, but let's find a good position and let's hustle here for a full minute. We're on the clock. Hands are right around shoulder width apart. Hips are in line with the shoulders, and the gaze is right in between the fingertips. My thighs are fired up. I'm pushing out of my scap here. I'm rooted through the balls of my feet, the palms. And I'm not gonna lose touch with my core the entire set. Sips of air. And I'm regulating that breath on the way out. Good. About another 20 seconds or so here. Legs are super engaged. Hips are in line with the shoulders, and we are working here. Stay with me for another 8, 7, 6, push, push, push. 5, 4, 3, 2, and time. Smooth. Not too shabby here. All right, we got a couple of patterns left. The first one is a cross-act squat. So essentially, it's a squat, and it's a lateral squat, a squat in the transverse plane. So what we're gonna do is set up in as wide of a stance as we can here, and the idea is to just squat into one side while we lift the opposite toes up to create a little more space, and then we'll stand tall and then work back through that position into the other side. Now, if this is tough right away, you can use assistance. 2. And if you don't need any, we can just put the stick to the side and let's get after it here. 3, we need 8 on each side. 4, 5. Trying to keep that posture as tidy as possible. I'd rather use assistance or reduce the range of motion than compromise posture or breath. Let's get a couple more here. One more on each side. Shift it over. And then shift it over. Solid. Woo. We can keep the wide-legged stance and get a quick toe touch. And then from there, we'll go ahead and finish off with a core pattern from the floor. So we're gonna get into that hollow hold position, or dead bug position, excuse me. Flat on our backs. Knees are gonna be at 90 degrees. We're gonna flex the toes back toward the face, and then locate that space underneath the lower back, that little space between the lower back and the floor. Tuck that pelvis and eliminate that space. From there, all we're gonna do is kick the legs long and hold, and if it's available, reach overhead. If this is tough, we revert right back to that fighting dead bug from last week, but if you're ready to progress, let's get after it. Extend, and we're on the clock for a full minute. Staying in touch with your breath, and the alignment of that pelvis, the engagement of that core. If we're shaking, that's great. If we're sweating, that's even better. Let's get moving, people. Fired up through the legs, toes are pointing back towards your face. We're over halfway home, stay with me. Beautiful, people, we got it. 10 seconds, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and time. Woo! Not too shabby. You can bring the knees into the chest. Give yourself a little hug and a rock from left to right. And then we'll go ahead and pop on up here. Solid stuff all the way around, people. Way to kick off week 2, day 1 here. Thank you very much for playing along. As always, eat right, get your sunlight, get your recovery, and we'll see you right back here tomorrow for day 2.